Men, stop doing this one thing that keeps sabotaging all your results, and that is blaming yourself. See, when we blame ourselves, we automatically think negative of ourselves. We don't give ourselves the chance to really improve because we keep on seeing ourselves as something that's not worth improving. And so as we go through this process of transforming, of making a better us, we need to remember not to blame ourselves, but to take responsibility. And there's a big key difference between the two. One is blame is shifting responsibility from the actual party. So even when you blame yourself, you are actually negatively putting emotions, stress, and problems on yourself unintentionally or in a negative tone. Where responsibility, we have control of our actions, we have control of our outcomes, and we take what has been given us or what has come through whatever the situation might have been, whether it's something that we messed up on, or maybe something that has happened in our lives. When we take responsibilities, we look at those facts, and then we're able to create or control a way of overcoming whatever deficiencies there are, or things that might need, or challenges that need improvement. So case in point, I used to blame myself for everything. It was all my fault. I could do nothing wrong. I'm sorry would be the words that would come out of my mouth, but I would feel horrible inside because I would be blaming myself instead of taking responsibility. That leads to anxiety, it leads to depression, and then it creates this environment where you're not allowing yourself to overcome and to make it through the challenges that you have in your life. Compare that to taking responsibility. When I started taking responsibility for the things in my life, instead of blaming myself and having this negative connotation of the things that I had done, I started saying, you know what? This is where I'm at now. This isn't where I always want to be. And so I'm going to start taking responsibility for my actions from here on out. So instead of living in the past, being negative about my own self-worth, I saw myself as something that has worth. And then I took that responsibility to then change my actions or change my course to then help myself become more. And so when we take responsibility, we gain control. It's an element that we're able to then proceed forward with versus always negatively living in the past. And some of those things that have happened in my life with my own body, I would have horrible body issues. And I would blame myself for being a bad eater, for not working out hard enough, for quitting, for all these things that I was blaming myself and not overcoming. And then when I started taking responsibility, I started looking at it this way as, you know what, this is where I'm at. And no matter how I got here, I want to change my future. I want to have control of those things that enter my body. I want to have control over my physical limitations or my physical abilities to grow and to progress. And so I started taking a course of action that was positive. So those things that I used to almost be just these whims that I would have is, oh, I have to do this. If I don't do this, I'm going to fail. Or if I don't meet this certain standard, I'm going to beat myself up over. I changed those thoughts in those places for things that allowed me to have more freedom and more control. All right, I made a bad decision here. That's okay. I can move on forward now, knowing that this is something that I do not want to continue in my life. And so these are the things I'm going to do to help control that. And so I was taking that responsibility versus continuing to give myself blame and negative feedback. And when I started doing that, I found that the process of growing and developing was so much easier. It was something where I was able to not live in depression and anxiety all the time, but say, you know what? It's okay. We're going to move forward and we're going to take control of our life. Now, if you want to start learning how to take more responsibility for your body, watch the next video as we're going to dive deep into what it means to take responsibility and the benefits of having a strong physical body, both in heart and in physical capacity.